With Ben Shenton. He's just been re-elected to the board. Officially, what's your title at this moment? You're president at the moment.
Well, I'm still president because the AGM hasn't finished. It doesn't finish until tomorrow night in Guernsey. So even if I'd been voted off, I'd still be president till tomorrow night.
No, it's the Channel Island Cooperative Society, which defies all the rules of everybody preaches the end of capitalism. It can't keep on expanding, but the co-op does keep on expanding, doesn't it?
Well, it does, and I think it expands in the right way because, and this is one thing that we need to focus on a little bit more. We've focused a lot on expanding the society financially over the last few years, doubled the number of shops, gone into medical, gone into pharmacy, but I think it needs to go more into the community, and I think it needs to raise its voice a little bit more because I don't think anyone's really speaking on behalf of the community. And I'm not saying we should become political, but on things that affect our shoppers, we should probably have a bit more of a voice.
Well, I raised tonight the issue about accessibility and audit, that sort of thing, which tends to be more political activity. Some years ago, I did raise with you a thing about equal opportunities, the equality policy, and the co-op adopted policy. Those are political issues which companies, obviously, because you are answerable to your shareholders, you have to take notice of that. Other shops don't have to take notice, do they?
Well, no, I think it's about the fact, I mean, we pay a dividend back to our members, and then we have to make sure we generate enough capital to keep the society ticking over. But the focus then is on the community and trying to be a voice in the community. And there's so much that you can do. For example, I went on a conference recently, and it was just talking about, which it seems a bit strange, but just how the different colours used within a store can affect the autistic shopper. How you can do more for the shopper with the dementia. How you can, it's fine having these electronic labels, but if people don't like the electronic labels because they can't read them, then you've got to do something about them. And I think we've got to stop moving things around because whenever I go shopping to pick something up for my wife, I can never find it.
I mean, one of the things which is now a real issue in the UK is being pushed to changing places, toilets, where adults, not just children, can be changed if necessary.
Yes, yeah.
Now that's something that they don't take a huge amount of space. You've got a few larger stores, and they could fit in larger stores. So I do hope something happens on that in the near future. But places like the airport, the ports, they ought to have. They don't have them. So
no.
You see, these are political decisions in a sense. The places ought to acknowledge they have a public duty to install these.
Yeah, I think everyone's rushing round. No one has time to stop and stare anymore, or just catch breath. And I think sometimes we miss things. We miss what we need to have. I mean, someone mentioned to me tonight that it would be nice to have somewhere just to sit halfway around Grand Marché when they're doing their shop in case they felt a bit faint or this, that and the other. So, it's just little things I think that can make a difference.
The trend, I mean, I was interested in the figure tonight, 77% of your sales are foodstuffs. I was surprised it's that much, actually, because you do so many other things.
Well, what we're trying to do, we're trying to concentrate on travel, food, medical and pharmacy.
Travel? Now that surprises me. I wouldn't have thought you had much going on travel.
Well, we've got Troublemaker, or Troublemakers I sometimes call it, no, it generates a good profit for us because a lot of people, they just don't like booking their holidays on the internet, and they want to see a friendly face when they're booking their flights, all this, that and the other. Where we're unfortunately, unless you've got scale, it's very difficult to compete, for example, in sports, where we just had one store in the Channel Islands. Once Sports Direct opened, it was very difficult. We didn't have the buying power to compete with that. And similarly with Homemaker, very difficult to make a profit, which is why we've let out the space to Dunno.
I'm intrigued by this sort of the health care, pharmacy, health centres, funeral directors at the other end as well. I'm intrigued by this. How far can this go? What have you got in the backs of your minds?
Well, we've opened up the medical side in Jersey, and through opening up medical, we forced the market to bring down their prices, certainly for young children. Guernsey, we haven't actually put our foot into Guernsey yet, so we need to look at Guernsey. But we're not doing medical to make money out of it, because it's very difficult to put the prices down and make money out of it. So we're doing this more as a community initiative, which needs to be done, because we're paying for doctors' fees in the Channel Islands, and it is something that we just felt very strongly about. Pharmacy we do make money out of, but medical we don't.
Because obviously at this time, as we know, the health service is being totally reorganised here. It's not just the hospital, it's all the care of people in the community, primary care. Do you have aspirations to get, because obviously the government would love to offload more into the private sector.
I think where our aspirations stand is I think people underutilise the pharmacy. A pharmacist is a very qualified individual that can actually give you a lot of medical advice to do with headaches or migraines or back pain or this and the other. And often advice of a similar quality to a doctor, and you don't have to pay for it. And I think sometimes people don't think about the pharmacist in that way. They don't think of him as something you can go forward to and ask for medical advice. And maybe we need to just get that out there and perhaps save people the £40 or £50 when they could go to the pharmacist.
Again, there's this overlap of political, but the health service was talking the other day about, that's my fan club, the health service was talking about doctors, GPs providing monitoring more so of heart conditions and so on, which the hospital would primarily have done. So obviously there's scope for lots of treatments and those sorts of things to happen in a GP's health centre outside of the hospital. Is that something I'm very keen to know, because I suspect a little something going on?
Well, it's flavour of the month. When I was Health Minister, we had this thing called New Directions, which was basically getting people out of the hospital and getting them to go see their doctor. And the reason I didn't pursue it as Health Minister was because the cost was absolutely astronomical and the island wasn't set up for it. I think you can have these grandiose schemes, but at the end of the day, someone's got to pay for it, and the person who pays for it is the man in the street. And most of the men in the street and women in the street, they don't have too much money spare.
You referred tonight to care homes, but it was more supplying care homes. It wasn't actually providing home care or care homes, was it?
It wasn't providing nursery care. And in fact, some of the co-ops in the UK also do care homes, but also some of them do nurseries for young children.
Right.
So that there is a load of areas that we could move into.
Looking at them?
We are looking at them. It's a fine balance, because obviously, you know, someone criticised me because our profits were low, but you know, we could pay less dividends.
It's almost, it's like the role of
it's like a tightrope almost, isn't it?
You're the business side. You're like government has to get revenue. You have to do that, and providing social services as well.
That's it. We need to make enough money to refurbish the Grand Marché and to build the stores that are closer to people. But we also need to make sure that we pay our colleagues, our staff enough money, and we need to make sure we keep the prices low. So it's quite a difficult thing to do.
I was a bit disappointed Leal's Yard in Guernsey doesn't concern us in Jersey, but you didn't actually go for the housing development yourself. Why not go for it yourself?
Well, actually be a housing developer.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'd like just to. That's been on our back for years now. If I'm totally honest with you, we should never have bought it. I mean, we'll probably turn a reasonable profit when we sell it, but we're retailers. We're not property developers. We're retailers. We're pharmacy. We're medical. We're funeral. Being property developers is not what we're skilled at, and it's not what we're expertise in.
Well, there's lots of things like the travel thing you mentioned. I mean, obviously there's all sorts of things you could do in travel, but run your own airline, run your own shipping line, all those sorts of things could be done, but not really your...
No, and again, someone tonight said, "Oh, we should move into the pensions business." So and there used to be cooperative insurance over here.
So they did.
So we used to insure my moped when I was 16-year-old. So there are things we could do anyway. But
anyway, for the next 4 years, you're in office for 4 years, as far as you know.
I'm in office for 4 years here, and this
more expansion, as far as you can see, as far as the eye can see.
No consolidation. We'd like to get a petrol station in Jersey, in the centre or the east of the island. And then focus more on the community efforts and make sure that the issues raised tonight are sorted out.
And the dividend is sacred?
In my view, the dividend is sacred, yes. Yeah. I think I'd be lynched in the Royal Square if I got rid of it.
It's a novel idea for government to actually give you money back. It's great, isn't it?
Well,
do you think that would work with government?
Well, give you money back?
Give you money back.
Well, it'd be nice if they did something to help people save and so on and so forth. They don't do anything, do they? Apart from spend.
Nice to speak to you.
Okay, thanks a lot.